All right, CNT120, we're looking at our design lab. We're now looking at part 3 of our design lab, and that is the description and justification. So just to kind of like calibrate your brain on where you are, we've already done the network diagram. That's this guy back here, where we showed the different pieces of equipment, the model numbers, how they're connected, all that jazz, all the areas of our plan. Okay, so there's the network diagram that we did. We then came back and did the cost sheet where we showed, we looked up the model numbers of all the pieces of equipment and the cost of them and links and all that jazz. And we also made sure that model numbers here were reflected over here and vice versa. So these two should be agreeing with equipment, model numbers, prices, all that stuff. So the last part of our plan is to answer some simple questions on kind of the good and the bad of your plan and what you would do different in the future if you could. So what we'll do now, on my Google Drive here, I will do a new, and I'm just going to do a Google Doc. I'll keep it simple, and I'll give it a name up here under Entitled. I'll give it a, again, a CNT120 Design Lab, and this will be like Justification kind of thing. Justification. And what I'm going to want to do in here is, just as I show you, advantages, come down a couple lines, do disadvantages, and then suggestions or improvements. Suggestions, improvements kind of thing. So what I want to do now is take a minute and look at my plan and describe the good parts. And what I can do initially is just get a couple ideas down of, this fulfills all requirements, which it does. Our plan fulfills all the requirements. This is commercial grade equipment, blah, 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 okay? And again, get a couple rough ideas down about our plan and what's good about it. I'll come back and do the same thing on disadvantages. We have single points of failure, single points of failure. We have no redundancy. Because as you look at it, redundancy, again, I'm not worried about typing at this point or spelling. I'm just trying to get ideas down. If I look there, if this link goes out, we're done. If this link goes out, we're done. We're thinking of kind of the goods and bads of our plan. Get those ideas down, and then we can come back and work this into a couple sentences or a paragraph or two on each area. And the last thing I want to do is think of what suggestions improvements going to do. Well, obviously, I could add redundant connection to ISP kind of deal, add redundant switch, blah, 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 add UPS for that, add blah, 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 okay? So now that I have a couple ideas down, what I'll do is I tell you over here, give me a paragraph of this on things good, bad, and improvements that I can make for my plan. When I'm done, I will save this as, I can do it as a .docx or PDF. What I can do over here is I can do a file, and I can do download as Microsoft Word or PDF, and just save this for submission. Okay, so this is actually relatively easy. Most people takes you, 10-15 minutes to do this, but I want to address the good parts of my plan, which are, the simple idea of we've fulfilled all the requirements, we have quality equipment, we have some extra network ports, we have wired connection, we have wireless connection, we have the capability of configuring VLANs on here for security, etc., etc. We have lots of good things going on. We'll then come back under disadvantage and address this. We do have single points of failure here. We don't have a redundancy. We don't have any UPS. We don't have any of these things that would help you now and in the long run. You didn't specify them, so we didn't put them in. But these are things we should really do. And then turn right around under improvement and say, well, we should be adding blah. 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 And those are the kind of things you want in your head as you meet with a customer, as you meet with a client on the solution you came up for them. Save this, and this again will be downloaded for submission to D2L. When the time comes, you're going to grab those 3 files, the diagram, the cost sheet, and this justification, those 3 files, and you'll put them right into the Dropbox in D2L. You don't need to do anything special to them. You don't need to zip them up or any of that jazz. You can just grab those 3 files, submit them right to the Dropbox in D2L. So there's the last part of your design lab.